Hello, friends. Welcome to the Broski Doodles podcast. It's your boy KIKO Flow. Today, I got you with a movie analysis and a review, and it's a great one. And it's not a new movie, but it's not an old one either. It is one that many people talked about, and that I meant to watch for a long time, and just kept putting it off. I had it on my list, but just kept putting it off. And recently, I watched it, and I've been wanting to give my analysis on this. And it's Uncut Gems. Have you seen on the title? I mean, you probably already know that. Title, great. It's actually very fitted for the movie. Adam Sandler, it's always refreshing to see Adam Sandler play dramatic roles because, well, he does them very little, but he's actually great on those. He's also a great comedic actor, but I have a problem with his some of his movies, and I know it's cliche to say it that his movies are corny nowadays, but they really are. And when I watch, for example, Big Daddy or Happy Gilmore, those movies were goofy, but in a good way that I just feel the newer movies are not. And I just think it's weak writing. But again, I'm just a dumb, mofo. Okay, Uncut Gems. He's doing a dramatic role. By the way, dramatic roles from Adam Sandler reign over me. That movie is amazing with Don Cheadle. Super recommended. I should do a review on that one. I'm gonna watch it and actually do a review. Uncut Gems, Adam Sandler. He's like a jeweler, right? He just sells watches, rocks, rings, and shit. And this movie they say is like, oh, you're always tensed up and you're right on the edge, and it is true. But I have a few different reasons for this. And it's not necessarily just because you're tense about the situation this guy's in. I'm more annoyed at all the bad decisions he makes that make it like not believable. And I'm starting off a bit aggressive here. I actually liked the movie and I enjoyed it. And I think the ending is pretty crazy and dramatic. I recommend anyone watch it, but there is part of me throughout the movie, especially when it ends, that you realize, oh fuck, like there's so many things that don't make sense, and that makes it harder for you to invest in the characters and in the story, and actually be tense due to the fact that you're so into the movie and you believe this, rather than tense because you just like, dude, what the fuck is gonna happen, you dumb idiot. So now let's get to the actual plot, right? Like this guy, he seems, to have maybe problems with gambling. So any money he can get, he's gambling. And from the moment the movie starts, you realize he owes some people money, some people that can hurt you, right? Because they go to his jewelry shop and try to beat him up and rough him up. And you also have that opening scene with the basketball players that go there to buy, KD, Kevin Durant. He goes to buy some. He wanted to buy some jewelry, right? Now, my thing is, throughout the movie, you see this guy go through so much bullshit because he owes these people like 100 grand. And to me, I'm just like, why don't you just get that solved and then you can continue to do your stupid gambling? Like, and I know you have to suspend belief for these movies, right, to make sense. But I think there's a limit. Like, and to me, that was one thing that didn't make it believable. Now, did it make it for me not being able to enjoy it because I felt that? No, because the movie is enjoyable. He's a really good character the way Adam Sandler portrays it. But I just don't think he's a realistic character, because I just feel that somebody that dumb cannot achieve what that character achieved previous to fucking up everything, right? And it's in such a dumb way. Like, he has a whole shop filled with jewelry. He can sell shit, right? There's probably pieces there that are worth 20, 30 grand or more. So just pay these gangsters that are trying to kill you and threatening your family and putting you in a fucking stupid situations. And then just continue to do the gambling. And so there's so many things that happen that make it weird to me, because I'm not invested, because I don't believe that this guy can really be this dumb. right? He any money he gets, he goes to like a pawn shop and like, oh, give me some money on this. Right off the gate, Kevin Durant comes in and Adam Sandler shows him like a gem, right? Like this gem that's still like rough, right? Like rough. And that's where Uncut Gems will come from, right? And he shows him like this shit, like, oh, this is, opal. This is like this thing that nobody really knows about, but it's super precious and shit. And Kevin Durant is like, all right, let me keep it for a game. I just want to see how, if. And then Adam Sandler just gives it to him, like a piece that he says is worth millions of dollars. For collateral, Kevin Durant gives him his ring that he won the championship with, and that's it. They part ways. And right off the gate, it's like, who the fuck would do that? Like, a jeweler wouldn't give somebody like a piece that's worth millions of dollars just for you to keep. I wouldn't. And that just made it feel weird. And right off the bat, like it's so predictable that there's gonna be a fuck up with that shit. Right after that, Adam Sandler goes and pawns the ring, which you're like, okay, you're about to lose all this money. And I just feel that the whole movie could have been better if those little details were polished. Because towards the end, it gets exciting, right? Like when he makes that final bet that he's gonna make a million something on. And he also talks to Kevin Durant before it, and almost he influences the results a bit by like pumping him up. Like they say you can't do this, but you're gonna prove him wrong, and he gets him excited. And that part is beautiful because when he's watching the game and the gangsters are locked in the door, you're like, oh fuck, this is cool. And I just think all that would have been better if it wasn't such a dumb move on the other side of things. Like, yeah, it was a great move, like a great bet that he did. But I'm just like, why, if you have so much money, you have a house, you have this hot chick that you're messing with, right? Why the fuck are you doing these weird ass moves that are gonna get you killed? I don't know. Anyways, next flaw that I'm noticing here is the gangster that he has an issue with is his in-laws. Like he's the husband of his wife's sister or some shit. So whenever they have Jewish celebrations, they see each other. First of all, you have problems with this guy that you're threatening his life, but you see him on like Thanksgiving type shit. That doesn't make sense. And then at the end, I mean, if it's your family member, why would you even threaten him, right? And his family type shit. Like you wouldn't deal with it in a violent way, first of all. And then second of all, at the end, when sort of, I guess, the best part of the movie because it gives such a shock, Adam Sandler gets killed right when he opens the door after he wins the game and wins the bet. The family member, the in-law, the gangster that's supposed to sort of hate Adam Sandler because he owes him this money, is all surprised that his goon killed him. And I'm like, okay, how serious you thought this shit was? Like, why are you surprised by this now? That just didn't make sense to me. Because then you realize, okay, you either threaten these people's life and you get their money, or you don't. But you don't do this shit like in the middle where I beat you up, I bring this guy with a gun, but then when he kills you, I'm all surprised. And I'm not saying he should be for killing Adam Sandler, but don't be so surprised. And as soon as Adam Sandler gets killed, you can see his character drops levels because now he's scared of his goon. And then the goon kills him. And then that just makes even more flaws in the game because I'm just like, what's the story with those guys? Weren't they like under this guy? So why are they rebelling? Which is fine. I'm not saying that cannot happen in the movie, but none of that is explained previously. So it leaves so many holes. You can still enjoy the movie. The Weeknd is there, messing around with Adam Sandler's, girl. And then, there's funny parts. And you know what's cool, though? I'll give it, I've been talking shit. Let me talk about the good stuff. It gives you this sense of what it is, to live within that world of New York jewelers. A lot of them are from the Jewish community. That part was cool, and I bet like that's very real. They filmed that on the spot, and how that world moves. Like, oh, let me this piece, give me this money, but there's collateral and there's interest on it, and they have their own deals going on. So that part was cool. I also liked sort of this 80s music that they would put, like down down, like this pianos, like synthesizers, like down down down, pow pow, and he just made it. He gave it like this momentum to it, right? And he made it feel different. He gave it a tone that was different. Aside from that, and again, for some reason, I still enjoyed the movie. But aside from that, I just saw some too many flaws. Another thing is at the beginning of the movie, they're like doing a colonoscopy, right? Because he's afraid that he might have a tumor or something. He does mention in some part of the movies that he or his people or the Jewish people are prone to have like colon cancer. So he's like getting it checked. But they don't dwell into that. They don't go further into that topic. So you don't really know how serious this is. There's just another call at some point where the doctor says, oh, you're good. There's nothing. You're good. But so there's so many things that they don't develop really that it leaves you not really fucking caring. And that is sad because the movie had a lot of potential. So, I don't know what you guys think about the movie. I would like to get your comments. Maybe I'm being too harsh on it, but I really do think that this guy couldn't have been who he was if he was this wild. And if at this type of time of his life he's going insane and thus he's doing all these irresponsible moves that he wouldn't have done before, then that should be, I'm not saying, spoon-fed, but at least, implied in some way, because to me it just seems that he's going on about his day as a normal person. Like that. That's just how he is always, and that wouldn't be true. He couldn't become rich how he was and have house that and an apartment and cars and all this shit if he was a dumbass that's just like grabbing every money he can and betting it. Like he would be broke and probably dead because he owes people, bad people money. So it's just a shame because that's not a hard thing to have done, to get all of that right, and then the movie would have been a lot better. It would just felt a lot more real, which it didn't to me. They don't really explain either why is it that he wants Kevin Durant to place a bid for The Rock in this auction. It's like, why don't you just sell him The Rock directly? And again, it could be that, oh no, because if he sells it through the auction, he can get a lot more because other people are bidding and he wanted to push it. That's true. I mean, they do show that he gets another family member to sort of push on the bid and they fuck up because he ends up keeping it and this, a whole mix up. But they don't really explain a lot of that. And you could say, well, all of that is for you to imply, but there's so many things that are left for me to imply and assume that it does, like a movie. I think you could have like this thing or two things that kind of are left a little bit unanswered, but not really. But if every little thing about the movie is vague, then again, you cannot be invested. You are not caring enough. So to me, it was just more like, let me enjoy this movie, see where it goes. But no, it didn't strike me as a masterpiece. Again, it's refreshing to see Adam Sandler on a serious role because he's really good at those. He's a great actor. He's a great actor, and he seems like a great guy. On the funny side, I wish Adam Sandler was making better movies. Big Daddy is one of my favorite movies. But even going to, what's another one from back in the day that was really good? I mean, yeah, you have the Happy Gilmores and Waterboy, but even after that, there were some that were still good. Mama's Boy, that was good. He wasn't in the movie itself, but it was produced by his people. That was a good movie. No, it was Grandma's Boy. Yeah, Grandma's Boy. That movie's good. But anyways, Uncut Gems. You can cut it. yeah, you could cut it. But if you haven't seen it and you watch this, I mean, it's kind of dumb to see it now because you know the ending. He gets killed. Little fun fact: back like 2 years ago, when I was supposed to watch this movie originally, it was a little slow at the beginning. So I'm like, okay, let me just see what happens at the end. And right at the end is when he gets shot. So the whole time I saw this movie now, a few days ago, I knew that he was gonna get shot. But you know, I still wanted to see how it developed and all. I do gotta say that if you don't know the ending originally, like you should not, know, then it's just a lot more impactful. But even that scene, which could be great, and it was great, it could have been much better if the whole movie, again, felt like I said shit. I mean, I'm getting a little annoying with this thing. Yeah, I am, but it's true. They could have put a little more effort. It could have been even better. That's all I'm saying. I mean, that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I want to know what you guys think. On the Broski Doodle scale, I give this movie a 5. I mean, this is a 5. I mean, you can watch it. It is a little slow, so it's not like one of these movies that are bad, but you can just have fun with the family and watch it. Just put the kids on it. No, this is a slow movie. You kind of have to, pay attention and shit. So yeah, that's what's going on. I give it a 6. I want to know what you guys think about Uncut Gems. Subscribe. Make sure that you leave a lot of comments. Tell me the things that you don't like. Like KIKO, that accent that you have, come on, bro. We're gonna get that shit fixed. Whatever it is, it's constructive. I'll use it to improve upon the shit we have. Again, Chef Maurice, new member. We got him $400 million deal. It's $100 million. It's just that we were talking about other business too, but we got Chef Maurice for $100 million, 4-year exclusivity deal. So you're gonna see him on every episode. That's not a movie episode. And on the movie episodes, you're gonna see me probably on my own. But I'm gonna keep bringing you the movie reviews. Some of you watch only the regular episodes. Some of you watch both. Some of you might only watch the movie reviews, and that's cool. But just know that you have them both every week coming through. Like the America, like all that shit, the boxes, the packages just coming through. LimeWire, BearShare, Pirate Bay, Spotify, Napster, iTunes, YouTube. Fuck, you can go to KikoCervantes.com. It's there. I mean, you can get this shit everywhere. Anywhere you want to get your podcast, you got the audio versions available all the time. It's your boy Kiko Cervantes. Thank you for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed this episode of the Broski Doodles movie review and analysis. And take care, Papa. Stay real. Stay focused. Use a condom. Peace.